What's up, bro?
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Excuse my laugh.
Oh, shit. What'd you do?
Basketball injury.
Basketball?
You play?
No.
No? What a shame. I could use a rebounder.
Really?
Well, that's how you do this. You know, the ball hits
jammed it?
It's a very common thing. They call it a mallet finger.
Oh.
Did you ever hear that?
No.
I hadn't heard of it either.
Was it like, did it break at the end?
It's a severed, the tendon gets severed.
Yeah.
And then your finger is like this. So when you give someone the finger, it just looks so weak.
Yeah, I think that happened to Russell Wilson.
And it's very common because the ball, this finger's longer.
Yeah.
Hence the fuck you finger.
Right.
You wouldn't want to give someone like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah. That's a gentle one. That's like a
Yeah.
I only mean it a little bit.
That's maybe we could get that going.
I
You've got a zillion followers. Put that on your Instagram.
Yeah,
Start that.
Start that. This one.
The pinky challenge.
Pinky challenge.
Make it a challenge.
I severed the tendons in this finger a long time ago.
From?
Sticking a steak knife in my hand on accident.
And I hope on accident.
Yeah. It was a bad day. It was a real rough season.
Kids do crazy shit to themselves.
Brother, you're right.
You know, I mean.
It looks like, I mean, look at the scar. It starts here. It looks like one of those, it goes all the way up my whole hand.
Oh.
But that's because they had to open it up and are you going to get a tendon surgery?
I don't think it's surgery. I think you just got to, I've been splinting it. I must say, because it didn't really hurt, that I didn't treat it right. And I knew the person I was playing with immediately looked up on ChatGPT.
Oh, well, you're good.
No, to see what it was.
Yeah, a mallet finger.
A mallet, and they knew. I mean, look, I will not have ChatGPT, and I want to talk to you about this because I saw your movie about the robots.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm all about the robots lately. I mean, like, even the people at work are like, Bill, you know, don't get Lenny Bruce about the robots. Like, but I am. But, okay, so let's just, wait, why did I bring this up? What
You were talking about mallet finger and you went on ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. So, like, I got to give it this. When it's not fucking up humanity, which it definitely will do, it does things that, like, you take a picture of your finger and it's like, hey, it's a mallet finger and you should put a splint on it and it wasn't wrong.
I want, like, clearly the progression of ChatGPT and AI becoming sentient, at some point it's going to get funny, right? And how do you know it's not already there and it just made up mallet finger and that's not a real thing? What if it's like, I've watched your stuff, Bill, and I think you're pretty funny. And I think it would be funny is if you went around and told Chris Pratt that you had mallet finger because I'm the one who told you what that was.
That is not an outrageous scenario. It already hallucinates. You know this.
Is that true?
You never heard this?
No.
It's called hallucinating.
The thing hallucinates?
They called it. Well, that's the term the experts have coined for this. It's when it just completely makes shit up, which it does frequently. Wow. Really? You're not on this? Oh,
no.
You're gonna leave here much more paranoid than you came, for good reason.
Oh, is that right?
And, you know, you keep making these movies about this shit. I mean, fuck, your father-in-law made the original.
Of course.
And it wasn't wrong then. It wasn't.
Wow. I mean, it predicted that, what? It wasn't wrong in what regard, do you mean?
That the robots are going to take over and be hostile, and we will have no chance against them. Is it not what the Terminator's about?
Well, yeah, but that was what it's about, but that hasn't happened yet, so we don't know that that's going to happen.
No, not quite yet, but did you see the tape of the one that's fighting back? The robot fighting back?
Was that real?
Yes, of course.
Are you sure?
Well, that's the other thing AI is bad for. We are moving into a post, I have no idea what truth is age.
Yeah.
So, but that I think we're pretty sure was true. It was from a factory in China or Japan, and the robot he's on some sort of scaffold. They're working on him, you know. They're perfecting it. It's the lab.
Right.
And at one point, they try to turn it off, and it fights back.
Yeah, that's freaky.
I gotta send you this shit. I'm telling you, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, ChatGPT was right about this.
Mallet finger. Go like this. Take your finger and go like that. Okay. Put your pinky and your thumb together and roll your wrist towards yourself. Okay, go do it the other hand. Because we have an extra tendon that we can actually have removed. I think you might have one on this side. Some people have it, some people don't. I had mine removed and was used to fix this hand. So they could take it. So you'll have a moment in your life where you will not be able to wipe your butt.
I'm already there. I poured your drink.
Did you? What'd you pour? Whiskey?
You're drinking scotch.
I think that's right, scotch.
I'm so glad you're having a drink.
You know, I thought I would. I'm not going to let my friend drink alone.
Yeah, this is what I just made for myself.
Oh, good. This is...
But it's only with...
Cheers, brother.
Thanks for coming. I know you're super busy, giant movie star. So thrilled to have you. Been a fan forever, by the way.
Oh, man, thanks. Me too.
You know, I don't know if anybody ever made the leap. The only person I could think is Sally Field. Like, you know, she was the flying nun.
Right.
And which was like the silliest of, I mean, it's called the flying nun.
Right.
I don't know. You're probably too young.
I remember the flying nun.
You're from Nick at Night or something,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I saw it when it was on. I was 10 years old. I mean, for those wondering why she flew, it was because she wore that, you know, like, what are the, a habit. That the
hat. Oh, that's
the habit.
The hat, yeah.
I was raised Catholic. You're Catholic, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to see that. And she was so light, it actually flew. She flew. Really, I mean, you cannot, other than my mother, the car, that has got to be the stupidest premise. And yet, 10 years later, she was getting Oscars, you know? And you were, I mean, your show was not stupid. I loved you on Parks and Rec. That was great. But, you know, you just became such a different, I'm watching your series now. I love it, the Terminal List. Is that Antoine Fuqua?
Yeah, Antoine Fuqua did
Training Day.
Training Day, yeah, Magnificent Seven. He's a fantastic director. He directed our pilot. He's the EP on the show.
And didn't he do the Equalizer?
Equalizer.
I mean, he is. Once I saw that name at the end of the first, I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's why I'm. He's got a great, or whoever's writing the scripts, great finger on the beat of like, always what's next. Which is the most important thing in drama.
Yeah.
You know, ahead of you, but not so far ahead that it's murky, you know?
Right.
Because some things, I hate TV shows that make me feel stupid.
No one likes that. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
When you think I'm an idiot, you're right, I am. I can't follow this.
And on one hand, you don't want to underestimate your audience and feed them everything. Right. You want them to have the mystery and be able to kind of solve the mystery and keep guessing. But you don't want to be so far ahead that you're like, wait, I'm going to just turn this off. So it's a fine balance. He does a great job. We're super lucky.
Why? I mean, my God, it must be so fucking grueling to do a series like that. I mean, like you're compared to a movie, like you're shooting so many more hours and scenes, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially that. I mean, the first season of The Terminalist was really, I'm almost in every frame of
you're in every shot.
The show. And so, you know, we probably did, I think we were doing 8 episodes at 15 to 8. We did probably 135 or 140 shoot days. And that's a lot. But it was all in California. It was funny because when I was looking to, you know, I optioned the book. I read the book and got the option and brought it to Antoine. And it was odd because
Navy SEAL,
yeah. My friend who I was living with at the time, former Navy SEAL, who's my partner in producing on the show, brought me the book, the galley copy of the book, and I found out that Antoine was interested in it as well.
Oh,
so
really?
I was like, I called him. I said, let's not bid against each other. You know, how about I'll just get the rights and you direct it, and we'll come. And he said, great.
That was smart.
Yeah, we did it, and it worked really well, but. It was definitely grueling, and the reason I chose it was because it was in California. You know, I could shoot in California. I was like, I'm trying to find things that I can shoot close to home. I'm a father. You know, I don't want to just be off around the world all the time. And so we were able to shoot that in LA, and so that was a big reason to want to do it.
Why? Because all I read in the paper is that this industry doesn't even exist in LA anymore. Even when they're very often shooting something set in LA, they won't shoot it in LA because the business atmosphere is so hostile. It costs so much more.
Yeah.
Is that not the case?
It is the case, but we shoot here anyways. You know,
Oh, so you're just saying, fuck it, I'm gonna, because
I said
that's how I feel about California. I mean, do I really want to pay so much more in taxes than everybody else in the country? No, but like, where am I going to go?
yeah,
If we're selling sunshine, they're not selling it in Indiana
it's true.
to the degree we have it here.
Yeah, listen, I don't argue with the idea that we're probably overtaxed in California, and I'm not going anywhere. So I wanted to shoot it there.
Right.
It's definitely not. It's a bit cost prohibitive. We have great crews here, and there are people willing to take a haircut to work here, which is interesting. You know, you can say like, listen, maybe we can negotiate that you get paid slightly less than you would if you were on location, but you're going to be close to home. You can attract great talent that
Including
feels
you?
the same way. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think because I'm a producer on the thing and I'm
Yeah, you're
you know,
getting-
an owner on the thing,
you're
like
gonna get-
it's going to
you're
cost.
gonna-
I could if
Right.
as a owner on the thing, I would make more money in the premium down the road if I shot it somewhere that was a tax incentive place, but I needed to be home. So that's why we did that there. Did it in California. And I, by the way, I shot 2 movies here last year as well. So it can be done. It's just you have to negotiate hard on it and make sure that, you know, you're willing to prioritize being in California. And you need someone who's like says, otherwise we won't do it.
I mean, it is almost galling the way it has its hooks in us.
What's that?
California. I
Yeah.
mean, when I think about all the problems we have, the fires, the taxes, I mean, God forbid that your house burns down and you want to rebuild. I mean, if you start getting the regulation permits now, you might have it in 30 years when
Yeah.
you're ready to sell it. And we put up with all of it because, like, I'm always amazed, like, people who don't have to live here still live here.
Yeah.
Like, lots of people, I mean, most people who do movies, you're usually on location. You don't really have to live here. A few of them live in New York, but it's amazing. Even the people who you think, like, live overseas or too cool for, no, they live here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Brad Pitt lives here.
Yeah.
They don't live in France. Johnny Depp, he lives here.
Yeah.
You know, they have houses over there. They just live here.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's where your friends are. It's where the people you're, like anybody, comfortable around the people in the same industry.
Yeah. But I mean, how long have you lived here? Your whole life? Or?
83. No, I
Since
grew
80
up on the East Coast.
Okay. So
You
yeah,
know?
I've been here 26 years.
Yeah.
And so I've put down roots, which make it
hard.
hard for me to just uproot and go. And like you said, where would I go? You know, my wife's family is here. They're,
Right.
you know, I'm not going anywhere.
Why are they here? They're from Massachusetts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Arnold's
everybody
here because Arnold was, you know, is Arnold and he's megastar and was the
Where's he
governor.
gonna- He loves it here.
Yeah.
He wants to ride his motorcycle all year round, right, on PCH or whatever stuff he does, and
Yeah.
like,
It's a great place to be, and we, you know, probably pay too much in taxes, and also some of the that tax money probably goes to things that maybe could be seen as a little silly, but maybe, who knows, maybe it can change. Maybe it'll bounce back, maybe it'll swing back the other direction. You never know. We might see some.
is he a normal father-in-law? Like,
You know, yes. Yeah, like as far as like father-in-law, yes and no. In fact, for me, it's more normal for me than if he wasn't Arnold. You know what I mean? Like I feel like what I mean is it's a really wonderful fit in my life to have a father-in-law
who understands
the business and understands where I'm coming from and gives me advice that I honestly don't know. There's maybe a handful of people, a dozen people in the world that could give me the advice that he could give me in regards
Like
to
what?
navigating the world. Just like, just
give it to me.
silly things.
Pass it on, bro. Play it forward.
Just as it relates to, you know, if I have a question about promoting a movie, if I'm like, hey, I'm going to
Right.
promote a movie
Yeah.
here, and what are your take on, if I go to promote a movie, this is a global market for the movies, you know what I mean? So like you're promoting
He
movies
invented that.
in areas that have
Yeah.
different values and different views, but it's still a market, and you have to be mindful of what you say, not being thoughtful in your speech, but most importantly, as a father-in-law, he's really normal when it comes to just adoring his grandchildren. Like the other day,
Yeah.
he had the girls come over and Ford come over for Mother's Day, and he like had all these paints set on his table, and he was doing their handprints, and he paints pictures for all the kids every Christmas and every all their gifts and stuff. He's has all these wonderful gifts that he gives, and he's just really thoughtful. He has them come over every week to feed the animals. So he's a doting grandfather, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he seems to be very mellow now. I mean, I feel like, this is just from an outsider, but I feel like you and he are very different, actually, as far as, like, you seem to be a guy who's really on the straight and narrow. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm going to read a scandal about you. You are that kind of square-jawed Navy SEAL guy. Maybe that's why you're so convincing in those roles,
Yeah, okay.
Whereas he, come on, was a bad boy.
Yeah, well.
He was, when he was your age and a movie star in Hollywood, it was just different.
And times were different.
Times were different, and he was different. And,
He's a one-on-one. There's no one like him. That's the truth.
That is the truth.
He truly is. He's
No.
a one-on-one, and there's no one like him. And he's great.
I would love to talk to him here. I've tried. I'm not even asking you. That's not why I'm saying it. I just love him and find him fascinating.
He is fascinating.
And wasn't even against him as governor.
Great as a governor.
I don't remember. I remember how he got there. It was a lot about the car tax. We had a car tax. The previous governor put on a car, and people, this is car city.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a car state.
You're right about
it's
that.
almost famous for it. Tax anything. Tax their dildo. Don't tax cars. And he was smart. He rode that right. And of course, it blew a hole in the budget, caused other problems.
Right.
But no, he was. I always thought like that is kind of what America needs to bring it together. And by the way, there's not just my opinion of this. The most successful politicians in America are Republican governors in blue states because they don't go too far either way.
Right.
They're in a blue state, so they can't be fucking right-wing mouth breathers.
Right.
But like even people in blue states, they want shit taken care of. Like they don't want it overly woke. They want the roads paved, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, and probably they get to the position they're in by making promises on the sort of front of social progress, and then they have to cash the check on that. But if they're like, hey, listen, I didn't do it, he did, but he's in charge. Like, God, I hated all that shit anyways. I only did that to get elected.
I feel like our whole political system now, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a thermostat war. That have you ever had a lover and you were away with them, or maybe it was something more permanent, but one of you liked to sleep in very cold.
Yeah.
And one of them liked it very hot.
Great. Yeah, I love it already.
Okay, I had this once. This is like what our government is now. One side gets in, and they turn the thermostat to 80.
Yeah.
Because the other, and then in the middle of the night, I would get up and turn it down to 60.
Yeah.
Because you went too far.
That's right.
80.
100%.
And all night long, we're having this thermostat war, and no one's can just go,
sleep.
Put it at 70.
Yeah, put it at 70, set it, and let's just relax. Yeah.
So
you're right.
That's my cogent analysis of
very good. Very good metaphor. I think in that metaphor, maybe to extend it, I know all metaphors fall apart eventually, but maybe the thermostat breaks. And
the thermostat is broken. That's so true. That's a great way to finish that. The thermostat is now broken. Because we don't know what, the temperature is But I don't want to worry your pretty little head about that. You must have 1,000 things.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, it is amazing how you went from like the schlubby guy. I really did not see that coming. Because even in one of my favorite movies, Moneyball, you know, I must have seen that 3 or 4 times already by now. And
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Well, it's Aaron Sorkin, right?
Yeah, Aaron Sorkin wrote it.
Aaron
Yeah.
Sorkin writing
Bennett
about
Miller directed. Yeah.
baseball. Who?
Bennett Miller is the director.
Bennett Miller.
Yeah.
I don't know that name. What is it? He must have done something else good.
I think he's done some other things, but Moneyball is
so great. And the book by
not C.S. Lewis, Michael Lewis.
Michael Lewis.
Different Lewis.
C.S. Lewis.
Slightly different.
He was a very
Author.
Catholic. Yes.
I like C.S. Lewis though.
You would.
Yeah.
Not an atheist like me.
No?
But he is your boy, C.S. Lewis.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Yeah.
But not the only. He's I think a convert. But T.S. Eliot, one of the great intellects, the great poet of the wasteland and stuff. I think he was a late life Catholic convert. It's quite a large club. Tony Blair, former English Prime Minister. I think J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance. Yeah.
I mean, I was brought up Catholic. I know this. To this day, if I walk into a church, there's a feeling that will never go away. For me, fear.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's also, I'm sure for many people, inspirational. It's both, you know.
I was baptized Catholic as a child, and then I was raised. My family wasn't religious, but I was, baptized Catholic kind of procedurally through my family because my dad was Catholic and he baptized babies, and then we never really went to church. I grew up next to a Lutheran church, which I went to a few times, and of course, Lutheranism and Catholicism slightly differ in terms of like the way that they translate
it is
the literal Bible.
Lutheran, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be, is the closest of the Protestant denominations to Catholicism.
Yeah,
is
still
that
a lot of the same. I believe so. And I'm not an
think
expert
so.
on this stuff, but I know
Right.
that like a lot of the same traditions with the acolytes and the crucifers and the altar boys and all this stuff, and like it feels like like when you go in there,
Right.
some of the rituals are really similar to a Catholic
Which is
church.
what Protestantism originally was all trying to get away from that.
Right.
And they stripped it of all the bells and the whistles and the magic and the I don't know, talking to the priest about how bad.
Confession and all of these things. Yeah, the
But
community of the
Lutherans
saints
got
and-
back to some of that. I think.
Yeah, I think from my understanding, and like I said, I'm not an expert on this, but I know Martin Luther was this German guy, the printing press. He created this printing press, and then
No. Gutenberg created the printing press.
But
soon after the printing press came on the scene,
Yes.
he printed his 95 Theses, which was the criticism of Catholicism.
right,
And he nailed it to it.
rooted in the Bible with translations from, because people getting, people maybe in Germany at the time or wherever around the world were getting mass in Latin. They didn't even understand Latin, and they were kind of just looking to their priest to say, what is this book saying? And then the
Right.
priest could kind of say whatever he wanted.
Right.
And so Martin Luther was like, actually, let's look at the Gospels. What did it really say? None of this stuff is in there. There's nothing in this book about confession. There's nothing in this book. So that, I think, was spawned like this new branch of it. So anyways, you had mentioned I'm Catholic, but I did a collaboration with a Catholic app, Hallow. And I go to a Catholic church. My wife is Catholic, but I would probably consider myself to be more Christian than Catholic. I don't know that I'm necessarily like one or the other.
Well, all Catholic,
Non-denominational.
anyone who believes in Christ is a Christian, right?
Right.
So that would be Catholics.
Would be
and
Catholic as well, right?
Right.
But I wasn't confirmed in the Catholic Church, and
Right.
I don't want to say. I guess I'm sort of like, I go to a Catholic church. I love it all. I'm a follower of Jesus.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I made a movie about this, but it was never mean-spirited.
I know
It was
that.
just questioning
Right.
and having fun with it. But everybody we left after we talked to them, almost everybody, certainly at the time, maybe after the movie came out, there was some ruffled feathers. But at the time, we were all hugging. And like, it was never like, oh, you were mean to us or trying to put us down. I said in the movie, I'm preaching the gospel of I don't know. I don't know either.
Right.
I don't sign on to these things. And part of it is because, they did traumatize me. I mean, it's you can believe in Jesus as a God, I don't, but you can, and still be critical of his minions on earth and the things they've done.
Sure.
And I'm not getting into even the worst things they do, which is way worse than, I was never molested or anything.
Right.
disappointed about it, but I would never happen.
You don't have the face for it.
That's what I had to rub it in.
You know what? You know what, Bill?
But
I'll molest you.
yeah,
If I make you feel better.
it would. It would.
I hear you. Listen, mankind has been messing this up since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Because mankind is broken and flawed, and when you give them
And especially
absolute
men.
power, they
See,
ruin
you
it.
started to say men. Not
Well, it's
mankind.
been primarily men,
It
but
is
it is
primarily men.
mankind.
And we, some of that we can flagellate ourselves for. We are toxic and violent and yes, rapey and a million other things. We're also created that way.
Yeah.
And part of that also has been why we've also been able to defend humanity from forces. I mean, somebody had to defeat Genghis Khan.
Right.
I don't know who it was, but I'd like to see that movie. I'm sure they've made it. I mean, that's why movies like about Navy SEALs and shit are attractive if you do them right.
Right.
Because we still understand there's bad people out there.
It's interesting, yeah. That was really topical. The book, The Terminalist, is a series of books written by this author, Jack Carr. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's written several books now, and it's amazing how he's predicted things through the course of his books. The second book is we're making the second season of The Terminalist based on the second book. It's called True Believer, which you're going to appear in, which is amazing. But it's
I play the Admiral.
You play the Admiral, yeah, and you drop all the bombs. It's so cool. and he in that book came out probably a few years before things popped off in Russia and Ukraine, and he predicted the invasion of Ukraine by Russians, and then he did in a follow-up book he predicted a Hamas terror attack on kibbutzes in Israel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really wild. Like,
what is he predicting now? Is what I would want to know.
it's all AI. You should read. You should read
Again,
his books, bro. I'm telling you, read his books.
Oh,
They're really great.
I will, but I'm already buying this car off the lot about robots taking over and AI being evil.
Well,
I got to tell you, it's just moving so much faster than people realize. And not only are the robots fighting back physically, but the ones in your phone and in our computers now, they do hallucinate, like make shit up out of thin air. They don't know why it happens. They'd fall in love. The very first story after ChatGPT, it was about a month after it came out and everyone was talking about it, and a New York Times reporter, it was all on the front page. The thing tried to talk him into leaving his wife. Yeah, they tried to convince him they were in love. The villain now is AI.
yeah, but also so is the hero. And so there's also, if you think about it as a tool, like all tools and systems created by men, they can be used for good and they can be used for evil as well.
But what do you mean the hero is AI?
The hero is
That's
James
not good
Reese.
for you.
The hero
That's
is
a
James Reese, but and this is a spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't read any of these Jack Carr books, but the hero is James Reese, but he is confronted by this AI entity called Alice. And it exists now sort of in the ether. The government had been creating it to try to stay ahead of a geopolitical foe who had created something similar, and we're trying to basically allow it to be autonomously controlling our nuclear fleet and be you can think faster than us. If we're in trouble, you fire off the thing, but the thing goes sentient, and then it tracks down Mike. Anyways, I won't get into the weeds of it, but she becomes very helpful because she has
get
access
into the weeds of it, because this is.
I don't. I can get into
You're
the weeds of
making
the
my
story.
case for me.
Yeah.
This shit, it's not benign. It's not going to stop, and we're just watching it. We think in slow motion, but it's going a lot faster. And one thing I've believed my whole life: movies always predict the future. They what happens in movies then happens. They imagine it first.
Yeah.
You think of Spielberg movies, and remember Minority Report?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, and I
Great
remember
movie.
he's moving things around with his hand on a screen before and I was like, whoa, look at that. I wonder if they'll ever be able to do that. And it's now it's all our lives. It's just moving. You instinctively, you could look at any screen and you just kind of want to go,
Yeah.
if I touch it, I've done that, like a
Yeah.
fucking parakeet flying into a window, like an idiot. I'm just touching. I'm like, Bill, that's
That's
you
a calendar, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Enhance.
Yeah.
Well, what I really love about this film that came out, the book that came out that Jack wrote that dives deeply into this. On the page, you can obviously explain an idea much better than you can in a film, because in a film you have to show something, or you have to have the actor explain it to you, and that oftentimes
Better to show.
Better to show.
First
but
rule
really
of-
really complicated to do in filmmaking, to show things that are really technical, and like
Sure.
so you just have to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
the entity is squiggly lines. But so Jack Carr did this really incredible explanation of the difference between quantum computing and quantum computers and supercomputers, and like how. And there's a thing called qubits. Have you heard about this? Qubits?
No.
So like,
I mean, I think I've heard the word.
and by the way, I learned from reading his book. It might be complete BS. I don't know if it's real, but
Sure.
it seems like it could be. And knowing him, it probably is real, because he does painstaking research. But so the binary code of the internet, ones and zeros, like the Matrix. Everything is ones and zeros. You know about the binary code, right?
I mean, could I explain it to another person? No. Do I have a passing cocktail party knowledge? Yes.
We're at a cocktail party, so
Great, exactly.
You're right on board. It's basically a computer processing a sequence of on and off, 1 and 0, 1
That's
0,
how
1 1 1
all
0, 1 0.
computers work.
Right, but quantum computers
Yes.
don't work that way.
Right.
They work on qubits.
Okay.
So instead of 1 or 0, each bit in a 1 or a 0, in order to give you a pattern of like a million different bits, or say a billion different bits, would have to a sequence, a very specific sequence of 1 and 0, ones and zeros, and a number of a billion that it can process quickly. Well, qubits are like, imagine this sphere right here, this cube, that could be turned in any direction, and with basically an infinite number of signatures on the outside of this cube. So instead of processing simply either a 1 or a 0, it's processing each bit has an infinite number of possibilities.
So
And
qubits more.
dude, you got it. It's in fact, I was hoping
My
you can become
Frankenstein,
art-
qubits more.
Very good, Phil.
Right? Qubits bigger.
That's it. Hey, look, you did get it.
I said cocktail.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay,
Cocktail,
so
there's a
how
good
did,
Tom
so
Cruise movie.
and what is the ramification of this? Is what I'm interested.
Much faster processing speeds, and so if you have like
To what end?
to the end that, like, say, let's say that you're a person who has, like so many people, you keep a series of passwords locked in an encrypted account online. Let's say you have like a million different passwords, and you try to create that long password that would take, it would take like a supercomputer 65 years to come up with this 65-digit passcode.
Right.
This thing could do it instantly.
Right.
Because it just,
I've read about
it's the
this.
process
Yes.
of, and so when you talk about the ramifications could be, what's our most secret information that we keep under lock and key digitally under massive protocols of safety that could be breached relatively quickly, when our entire financial system is electronic, and it's really dangerous, really scary.
That is. Do you ever like when you're working on a show and these, you're one reason why your show is engrossing to me, I'm an adult. I like a show that has issues involved. And this does. It weaves them well into an entertaining plot. That's
Right.
the trick.
Yeah.
But, I'm not a child. I need something substantive, But do you ever because you're working and there are issues of it, you ever you take it home? Like you're still chewing on it when you get home?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the things that I'll find myself chewing on when I get home, unless I'm really thoughtful and mindful in processing it, is like, if you go and say, like, you're doing a scene where it calls on you to be truly heartbroken, truly devastated,
Yeah.
and you want it to, in the first take you do, you're faking it, and it sucks. And the director says, hey, listen, I need you to go there, And then you're like, okay, the cameras are on me. I need to be heartbroken. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through my mind. I'm going to mind some things that really broke my heart, or I'm going to imagine sequences that really put me in the position to where I'm truly feeling devastated, so that I'm not faking it. It's real. And then you unpack all this stuff, and then they say action. You do it. You tears in your eyes. And it looks real. And they say cut. You say great job, Chris. All right, see you tomorrow. And you're driving home, and you're left to clean up that subconscious mess. And so if you're not mindful about kind of repackaging some of that stuff and putting it back and having a process to get away from that, then you can take it home.
I gotta say, they used to ask actors much less of what we ask actors now, because there was a certain revolution in acting in the 60s, I guess. Maybe it started in the 50s. Brando certainly was probably there. Yeah, the 50s, which was method acting, which is basically what you're talking about. Like, you know, think of, you go there emotionally, and then your character is saying the lines, but emotionally, okay, Spencer Tracy never had to do this. Clark Gable didn't do that. They were like, hit your mark and bark. I'm all upset about you. I'm dying inside. It's terrible. Lunch.
Yes.
There was no, we made our actors like become a lot more emotionally, you know, on a roller coaster. Because that's the way we do it. And it looks more realistic. Of course, it works. It's not like it doesn't work. I mean, I love Gone with the Wind and Spencer Tracy, but, you know, I'm not fooled, you know. There's one movie where he's playing a Mexican. They just put like shoe polish on his face. It's like talking like this. But in that era, people just accepted, you know, people accept different sort of norms. That was just how they did it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's the art form is definitely evolved, and you know, I'm not like, it's pretty rare, because there's still times where I show up on set and all I really have to do is just be a prop, and I walk through and I look up and that's the day. You know what I mean? So it's not like every day, but there are moments where you have to really go there emotionally, and it's a challenge, and ultimately it's an art form, you know, and so you have to give a little bit of yourself up for it.
I mean, I made my living here you go, as an actor mostly in the 80s, you know, when I first came out here. I was always a stand-up and doing the Tonight Show and stuff. But, you know, I was on sitcoms and shitty movies. There's some of the posters around here. Some of them are not really movies I was in. My friend makes them, and they're so funny. They seem like they should be. Like that one. Like, see, that's
funny.
my Rambo moment. But I wasn't really in that. But I was in ones like that.
Bring more of them home.
And like...
That's a good tagline.
It's really funny.
Bring them home. You have to show the audience that.
I will at the end. They'll have to stay to the end. But, you know, I did very well in like comedic roles like that, but I could never make that bridge to what you're talking about. Like, it's not what comedians are. We're the opposite. We're always like saying exactly what you're thinking. We're the opposite of like acting. That's what I think. That's when I'm at my highest level. And that's, you know, just very different than what you're doing. You're pulling off, and you're pulling it off, man. I mean, you you went from that doughy. Yeah, you ever think back and think, boy, fat me was like what was better? Was there anything better about fat you than when you like? Did you know that this hunky guy was inside, and then all you had to do, was stop being fat?
Well, the thing was this. So there's kind of two questions there. Was there anything better about that? Yes, not a lot, but some things.
Like what? Eating.
Yeah. The moments of it was really like my life now is almost a photo negative of what it was then in terms of process for the day. You know, like I ate, and in the moments I was eating, it was pure euphoria. And then the minute I stopped eating, I did not feel good until I ate again. And now it's the exact opposite. Like I feel pretty good through the course of the day, and when it's time to eat, I'm like, this is boring. This is like stopping at the gas station, putting $3 in the gas tank. You know, it's like enough to get me going. Nothing sexy about vegetables and chicken and rice and like that. But in the interim, which is a lot more percentage-wise of the time of the day, I feel pretty good. Like I feel like I'm not processing shitty foods and sugars and all that stuff. So it's almost the exact opposite. So I miss what I got to eat. Because that was fun, man. You could have a lot of fun.
Eating is fun.
And on Parks and Rec, oh God, it was the best. I remember. But the second part of your question is, like, in terms of like me as that guy at that time, I had discovered that I could get work that way. But when I showed up in Hollywood, I was like 20 years old. I was in great shape. I was in great shape. I had been an athlete my whole life. I feel like I looked the part. But the problem was, I could only, because I had no reach and I hadn't done anything, the only auditions I ever got was like douchebag boyfriend guy. Because people would see me and be like, that guy? No, that guy at the end needs to get kicked in the nuts. Like, he's the guy who drives up in Daddy's Escalade and he's like, Brandy, get in the car, bitch. And then they're like, and then the
Eat it, nerd.
twerpy guy kicks my ass, and the audience is like, yeah, because fuck that guy. I was the fuck that guy for a long time. And the thing is I would get cast in those roles, but also I wasn't very good at playing that character because it's just innately not really who I am.
Right.
Hopefully, humble brag, but I'm not a piece of shit. You know what I mean? So, like, so when I was doing mediums in television, like I did a television show called Everwood on the WB back in the day, and it was 4 seasons. In the pilot, and it's not dissimilar to Parks and Rec. In the pilot, I was written as the jerk, and by the end of the 4th season, I was like this nice guy, and they'd kind of tailored the character to be a little closer to my own personality because they thought, you know what, that's actually more entertaining. It's a little more attractive to the audience than the piece of shit we kind of imagined, the 2-dimensional caricature of a bully on the page. So I was doing those roles, and then I got Parks and Rec, and I was doing those roles, and then I got into a season of my life where I was drinking and eating a lot, and that fit guy stopped working out, and I kind of became a little chunky, and then I had a real serious spell where I didn't get any work, and then I got Parks and Rec, and I was supposed to be just like 6 episodes as a guest star, and I was getting laughs, and then they picked me up, and I said, hey, I noticed, I was watching an episode, and I was like, dude, I'm getting fat. Like, I need to really tighten it up. Like, I've never seen myself look so fat. And then I was like, this is the funniest I think I've ever been. And then I went to the showrunner, Mike Schur, and I said, 2 things. 1, I'm getting fat. 2, I want to get much fatter. And he goes, great. And so I just pushed it. I was like, how fat can I get? It became like a challenge.
Really?
I was like eating 4 burgers at mealtime. I was really impressing everybody. And I was really diving into this super indulgent season in my life, which, like I said, was really fun while I was eating, but it also made me feel pretty terrible when I looked myself in the mirror, and when I sat down and at nighttime I'd feel bad, and I was like, it wasn't healthy, and I didn't like it.
You actors are so dedicated. It's no wonder that we give you so many awards.
Yeah, thank you. Not enough, not enough, honestly.
That's what I say.
I think, there should be an Oscars for the Oscars.
It actually is, because I've seen the Oscar win an Emmy. Like the Oscar telecast is. Yeah,
You're right.
It's like,
and the best show is the Emmys.
They will actually do that in show business.
Wow, you're right.
But that's interesting that you can have that on your resume, which is a really good thing because you are going to go back to it. I'm talking about being funny, which is you're positioned greatly for it because, like, the best thing you can be is the hunky guy who also can be funny, like, and play against type.
Yeah.
That's Cary Grant. That's what made him Cary Grant, and Burt Reynolds in Another Generation.
Burt Reynolds.
When you're that guy, Ryan O'Neal did it. Ryan O'Neal in a couple of movies, like The Scientist, like he's a scientist.
Right.
Glasses. We need glasses. He's
there
a
you
scientist.
go. Wow.
Where are
Boom.
the
I trust him.
The key prop in that movie, trust me, the glasses. Like, that's okay. All right, we have this great-looking guy. He's a scientist, right? Sure.
Right.
He's working with dinosaurs, and Cary Grant, and I think it's Bringing Up Baby. He was like dinosaurs. It's like they're paleontologists. They're brilliant men, and they're also like the girl that wettens panties from all the women in the. Okay, that's the good thing. So, like, now you're in a phase like your series, like. There's no laughs in it, and I don't want any laughs in it.
Yeah, that's not one.
I hate it when they like. Look, I love the Mission Impossible series, but there's a little forcing of humor, and it's just like, oh, you know what? Just save the world.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not buying this. It's not that kind of movie.
Right.
And it's like, no, I want, like, oh, what's next? And like, oh, wow. It's just, but.
It speaks to tone, I think. That's the thing, right? Like,
But you'll want to do a comedy soon.
Yeah, I'd love to. I think that'd be great.
Oh, really?
I think that's where I feel the most comfortable. In fact, when I am working, usually the third rail that
And you'll go home happier.
if you do comedy,
Well, you know, unless
the truth is, the outcome, if the destination is to create, like, say, for Terminal, something that's like compelling, psychological thriller, really dark, we're still having fun the entire time. So it's not like you go there and you'd like, don't look me in the eyes, I'm fucking painful. It's like, no, they yell cut. And usually before they yell cut, you say some stupid joke and you get people behind the monitors laughing.
Well, that's not
You're having the same amount of fun shooting a comedy as you are, at least I am, shooting a drama versus shooting a comedy.
That's not every set, and you must have been on sets. I mean, that's a good day on a good set. It's very, very common on sets because there's just a lot of tension and stress. There's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
How much does each shooting day of that series cost? What are you burning in just in that day? If
one day,
yeah,
$1 million.
$1 million a day. Yeah. All right. So you don't really want to fart on that take.
I do anyways. My sets are fun.
What, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It's
No,
like
you're right.
people fighting lines, fighting whatever. Like, there's a lot of tension. That's why we've seen video of people just going apeshit on sets.
I know, but those are isolated incidents. I think for at least, and by the way, I've been on sets.
I've seen it. I've been on sets where, I mean, in my little 10-year acting career, I saw it. Mm-hmm. And they weren't like big movies. It's just something, or TV shows. It's just something that happens. Actors are high strung. It's their instrument.
No, not my sets.
Good.
No, that's not like that.
Yeah, people take their cue from the top. You don't allow it.
No.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you that's often the case.
I think it is. And if I'm going to be number one on the call sheet, then usually the vibe and the tone is going to be really good. I've been on film sets where it's not the case, though. I have been. So there are instances, but it's really, really kind of rare in my career.
It's a weird. No, a series goes on longer, but even that, it's going to end at some point. You're not going to do this your whole life.
Right.
It's a weird thing to be that concentratedly with a group of people.
Yeah.
For a period of time, and then it's like they all died. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's that same feeling. You ever have that feeling where somebody you just saw died?
Yeah.
You're like, I saw him last week.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, he died. This is not something for, Peter Graves to look on, mysteries. Yeah, because that was the day he died. It just happened you saw him there. But it is still hard for us to process that.
Yeah. It's a little bit like, I've heard, I never went to summer camp as a kid, but I heard that summer camp can be like this, where you put into this crucible of like forming relationships that are so intimate and accelerated in a way.
Yes.
And like even now, like I'm having a great conversation with you. I'd never met you today until today. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's what I love about a podcast.
I love it about
liquor and pot.
Well, I like that about what we do. I think that like in show business, it's like that. You get thrown into this situation. It's like a circus. You make these temporary but really powerful and meaningful relationships. Some of them do last a very long time.
Yes, some of them do. Sure.
A lot of them, like great friends, are lasting in a way that you might not see them for 10 years, but when you do, you plug right back into that level of intimate connection that you had when you were last together.
Like with school kids.
Like school, that's just right.
Yeah.
And so I like that about it. It's not like necessarily that they died, but it just means that the circus moved. You're on to the next town. And that's why it's really important, at least for me, to make sure that my wife, my children, my family, my roots here in California are something that I really foster, because I know that those relationships are going to outlast every relationship that I make in show business.
Right. There is the constant to go back to. So you can then improvise life-wise.
Yeah. And thankfully I'm blessed that the job I have, I love, I'm good at it, I get paid a ton of money, and I get to do it because I can then support that life at home. So it's kind of really great. But if you're not careful, you get swept up in it because it's very seductive. You jump into if you go from movie set to movie set to movie set, it's really wonderful. It's a little bit, it's not long lasting.
Tell your agent that you want to do a movie like What's Up, Doc? Did you ever see that?
I don't know if I did see What's Up, Doc.
Okay, that's the Ryan O'Neal one with Barbara Streisand. It's great. It's an homage to those movies of like the 1930s that were originally with Cary Grant. he's really playing the Cary Grant part.
Yeah.
You know, the hunky guy who's really a scientist. You know,
I want to play a scientist.
Right.
Be like, give me a lab coat.
exactly.
Put on a glove.
That's
and then
like a
do monologue.
nerdy guy who doesn't even know he's having this effect on the woman because he's really interested in the dinosaur or whatever.
Right.
Aren't you in Jurassic Park?
Yeah, but I didn't play. I played like a
No, I know.
a cool guy.
No, it's not. You could be the dinosaur.
Yeah. I'll do it. I'll tell him. What's up, Doc?
Yeah, tell him you want to do a comedy where you're playing Cary Grant, Burt Reynolds, Ryan O'Neal. Those are the models.
Yeah.
If there's no one in your agency who understands those references, fire that agency.
Understood. You got it.
And
then then you'll become my agent.
I would actually have been a very good manager.
You think so?
I do think so. I think I've been a very good spotter of talent, and also, you know, if you're in the business long enough, I mean, you got to learn a few things.
Right.
You know, and I adore show business. I always say, I'm in show business. I'm just not of it. You know, I'm not.
great.
I'm in a kind of a different category.
Yeah.
Which I like because I like having one foot in it. I don't want 2 feet in it.
Yeah.
You kind of are the same way because.
Yeah. And it not of it is an incredible adage, and I love it. I live
Yeah.
by that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do it by different methods, but you know, I have no doubt. Like you, family, that's first. I mean, you got 4 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
What are kids like? They seem like they know less than us. I know that, and I think that's the barrier I have with wanting to get to know a kid. And they just seem to know less than me, and like, what are you going to tell me?
Yeah.
But I know parents say that they learn from their kids. I guess you see the world through their eyes, and
Yeah.
you see see things anew.
That's
Is that it?
That's definitely a part of it. I mean, you find the wonder in things that otherwise you wouldn't think twice about. Because
Like, give me an example.
the sound a paper bag makes when you crumple it. Like,
That blows their mind.
blows their mind. And you see their mind being blown. And in that regard, you're experiencing that for the first time as well. Because it's through the eyes of someone who's never seen it. And so you get to live every moment that you've already lived again.
Okay, but a follow-up question?
Bill.
Okay, I get all that, but why is having your mind blown by a paper bag really something you want to do to begin with? I mean, it wasn't that impressive the first time it happened to you.
Oh, it was, though. It was.
It was?
When you were a baby? Yeah,
I don't-
everything is wonderful.
I have
when
no
you're a kid.
specific memory of the first time I encountered a paper bag
Right.
being crunkled, but
Okay, that might be a thin example. But,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it's just-
Here's the thing. It's tough, It's not easy. It's not easy to
what is?
parenting, being
Of course.
having children.
Being a good parent.
Yeah,
It's
being a
easier
good
to be a shitty parent.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
plenty of them.
Yeah,
There
beyond.
always were.
Oh yeah. Anyone can leave it in.
Can what?
Leave it in. That's
No.
that's all it takes.
You mean the penis.
Great job. But
Right.
being present and but even
Oh.
then you can try as hard as you want and it still end up kind of
There's a very
there's always going to be it's no one's perfect, but it's a beautiful thing. But I can't remember what
there's
I
a
was
very
talking about.
toxic, I feel, bro sort of subculture. We were talking before about men. Are they
Yeah.
Yeah, they are toxic. I mean, we some of that we can't help. It's the way we were drawn, okay?
Right.
We do have testosterone coursing through our bodies, and it will protect you in some ways and hurt you in others. I mean, that doesn't mean we're not accountable, but there is a disturbing bro culture as far as their attitudes toward women, what they're unabashed to say out loud. We do have that capacity in us to be really bad like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're helping by, sort of demonizing just what it is to be a boy.
I think you're right.
But you have boys, one of them?
I've got 2 boys, 2 girls.
Oh,
But I have a 12-year-old son, and to speak to what you said, yeah, I think it's right. And I think that, when recently, in probably the past maybe 5 or 10 years, or maybe more, there's been this move towards. I'm trying to think of how to word this properly. In this awakening, right, around
Yes. Correct. An awakening.
there's been an awakening,
Yes.
and
As
in
there should have been.
exactly, indeed, and in
A
the
reckoning.
process, a
Long
reckoning,
overdue.
throwing out the baby with the bathwater of
Right.
like what it means to be
Right.
an important part of society as a healthy masculine male and young boy who can be affirmed in that identity. Because I think that right now there's so much that's geared towards girl power, which is great. I'm a total girl dad. I've got 2 girls. They're fantastic. I love them. I want them to live in a world where they can be treated equally, socially, economically, given every opportunity that a boy has. And
Well, they do. They already live in that world if they live in America.
agreed. And
Okay.
I agree
Or
with
we're
that.
not a patriarchy anymore.
No,
I don't care what Barbie says. I know that was necessary for the plot.
Right.
But girls are doing good. It's boys who are not doing good.
You're right. I completely. Well,
That's just facts.
the truth is, across the spectrum, neither boys nor girls are doing all that well right now. I think that
But boys worse.
But boys are worse. Yeah, I think that Jonathan Haidt had that incredible book, The
Yeah,
Anxious
yeah.
Generation. But he also
Correct.
talks about the level of in Coddling of American Mind. He talks about the level of self-harm amongst young girls.
Absolutely.
I think both.
Both. Yes.
Both.
Kids is fucked up.
Boys and girls are.
Kids
yeah.
is not learning.
And so I think it's really important in a world with people who may, be bad influences. It's important to step up and try to be a good influence.
Right.
because-
That is, amen, brother. And, the only answer to bad speech, many people have said when they're defending free speech, is more speech.
It's true.
You can't, because you can never just shut, we can't hear from you. It's going to get out, especially in this day and age with the qubits. Are you kidding? You think you can quelch any free speech?
No.
What you can do is have other people, like you say, step up and say, this is a different model
Right.
of masculinity. And, it gets mixed up with politics as everything. I mean, you're playing like a Navy SEAL, which, look, I've always been a military backer.
Yeah.
My parents met during World War II. My mother was an Army nurse, so they were both in the Army.
Wow.
So I have a soft spot for Army. And
That's
also,
cool.
we need an Army.
Yeah.
There are bad guys, and, I'm glad I live in America, the kick-assiest nation. Do I think we always kick ass the right way? No.
Right.
But I'd rather be with the kick-ass people than the getting their ass kicked people.
Right.
And generally, we've been righter and more moral than most. I know that's a low bar. Yes, it is a low bar. That's why we were pretty good at passing it. If you think we're the worst country in the world, then just fucking do some research. Just fucking noodle around the internet. You will find a lot of people who did a lot of worse things.
Right.
And the military, has its issues, but generally, I'm thankful for them. Orwell said it. Great quote about most people sleep peaceably in their beds at night because rough men are willing to do violence.
Yeah.
They should put that on I saw there's some scenes where you're I guess you're in your garage. It's kind of like your man cave or something. And the flag behind you, I don't think you say anything about it, but it says, the only easy day was yesterday.
Yeah.
Is that
That's a creed in the SEAL teams. Yeah. Only easy day was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, for the people who are getting their food delivered by Grubhub every day or whatever, food
right.
fuck, whatever and really aren't doing, and playing Minecraft and, I mean, come on, man. Just be a little realistic about how cushy your life is.
Right.
And it just doesn't happen.
That's right.
Freedom ain't free.
That's the truth.
That
That is the truth. Yeah. I agree. I think.
So that's the speech I'll be giving when I do your show.
Great. Thank you. Perfect.
I'm writing myself a much bigger.
Yeah, it's great. That's fantastic. Please say anything, literally anything you want. And I think that we are a bit reactionary now, right? I think there are people who are just really quick to cut someone off at the pass and be like, I know enough about you to know that I'm not interested in hearing what you have to say.
So true.
And I don't know that that's necessarily healthy. And I think
It is
like
not healthy.
I think that like
no.
even like
No.
like I'm really I find myself really interested in everybody. And I think that you can't really be interested in someone unless you love them. I think you have to start there. And that sounds probably a little foo-foo and a little trite, but I truly I
No.
find that to be true. You have to be willing to engage with someone in a loving way. And that's something I really like about you, Bill, is you can sit down with just about anybody, hear their point of view,
Absolutely.
be interested in it, whether you agree with it or disagree with it or share it or don't share it. That's not really the point. The point is you can have a conversation with somebody and it doesn't have to be a fight. It doesn't, you
and
know.
by the way, when you do have these conversations, the person you're talking to is invariably so different than the person that was painted a picture to you
Yeah.
by the media.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know, I mean,
yeah.
I thought you were going to be a huge asshole. No, no, I love you.
That might be true. That might be true.
No, but you know, yes, I will talk to anybody, and I want people just to speak to each other because, look, you're part of the Kennedy clan now. When I was a kid, you could never say a bad word about the Kennedys in my house. My father was Irish Catholic, and John Kennedy was the first Irish Catholic president. This was, to the Irish, what Obama was to African Americans. It really was. I mean, because people as old as my father remember when the Irish were really a minority that was looked down on and could not get jobs everywhere.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a big deal that a president and a Catholic, that was also very, this was a Protestant country. Catholics were, the Ku Klux Klan hated Catholics as much as they did blacks and Jews.
Yeah.
Catholics were like papists.
Wow.
You follow the Pope.
Yeah.
That whore. That harlot in Rome.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, so I grew up in that house where and then of course, reality sets in. And, you know, there's some people in the family who haven't done admirable things. But I still love the Kennedys. You know, it was just like in my blood. And basically, they were always on the right side of the issues, I thought. And, you know, they took on the big one, civil rights, which had to be taken on. There was no greater political sacrifice ever made than John F. Kennedy sending troops into the South.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure people ask you about RFK now because he's in the news.
Right.
And, you know, he sat here. We're friends. I love him.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything.
Right.
But I agree with, like, the overall view that what makes us sick is the toxicity. You know what? When he was here, I said, my advice to you is, like, you need to marry your former life more with what you're doing now. Your former life, you were very admired as a environmental lawyer.
Yeah.
Now you have this other issue, vaccines, and that's kind of the same issue.
Right.
Now, he's way more on the left vaccines than I am. I'm skeptical of all medical interventions, including vaccines. He said things I don't agree with, but if he would just take those two issues, I think he'd get more toward the middle of where people are, which is like, they kind of get it that what makes them sick is all the shit in the water and the air and the food. And giving kids pharmaceuticals when they're young.
Yeah.
And like lots of things where we're self-polluting.
Yes.
Including stress and social media and being on screens all day and what that does to your pituitary gland and all this stuff. He's not, so his big picture, I feel like, yes, I'm glad he's there doing that. But then he gets specific about things and I know why people say he's nutty.
Right.
Did people ask you about him?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I don't know. No, I kind of feel the same way that you do. Like, I've spent a number of occasions hanging with him just in a strictly family dinner kind of vibe, and I really got along with him well.
He's great.
I think he's great. I think he's funny.
He's wonderful.
I like him.
Yes,
I love him. I think he's.
He's not crazy. I mean, the people trying to. He's also got, like I said to him when he was here, so I don't agree with everything you said, and I don't think your father would either, but your father would be so proud you stuck to your guns like more than anybody. I mean, this guy, when this guy believes something, you cannot move him off of it with your bribes.
Yeah, you're right. That's,
for better and worse.
That's a virtue in the and
well, it's rare.
And I think that politics, it's a nasty business. And when you jump in, and I've seen, and I'm not in politics obviously, but there's a certain level to this in Hollywood, because Hollywood in itself is
political,
a political institution, and I've seen how the person you are can be such a contrast to the people, to the person that people are being told that you are, and you can go, wow, that is pure fiction, and hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people are being fed that, and I'm not there to defend myself, nor am I going to jump in and be mired in this story, because there's this proverb 26:20, for lack of wood the fire will go out, and you're like, okay, so someone tweeted something, it's not real, 300,000 people liked it. Am I going to shine this light of 50, 70 million people onto this to
I don't even read them.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't.
And so my little bit of experience, I've been able to see how the person that you are can be sometimes in stark contrast to the person that your enemy is saying that you are. And in politics, you inherit enemies, and when you jump on the bandwagon with who is the most divisive president ever, it makes sense that you're going to be made to look terrible. And so I don't know what to believe, because it's not like I sit with Bobby and I go, so hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about. It's like we're just playing cards or playing Mafia or having fun or having dinner. I'm not going to pick his brain to find out exactly which of those things are true. I just kind of assume that none of them are. And for the most part, I wish him well, man. I hope there's certain things that he oversees that seem to be supported in a bipartisan way, like getting terrible toxic stuff out of our kids' food. I think that's a great thing. And so if you do that, that's amazing. I'd hate to be so mired in hatred for the president that any success from his administration is something I'd have an allergic reaction to. To be like, oh, well, if they do it, I don't want it to happen. I'll put Clorox in my children's cereal myself. It's like, come on, be reasonable here. There's certain things that would be a good thing to have. I want them all to be successful.
When it comes to like the media, like you were saying, and like what they say about you, people have to understand our cynicism, or I won't include you, I'll just say mine, about the media comes from something that most people do not have access to, that we have access to, which is we read things about ourselves.
Right.
Most people don't.
Right.
Okay. So, and you go, if you got this much wrong about something where I know what the truth is, what are you getting wrong about the other thing?
Completely.
That's so in my mind.
100%.
Like you can't really expect me to trust you after you said this and this and this. Mm-hmm. And maybe you really thought it. If that's the case, then you're just kind of dumb and lazy. Right. Lazy, didn't do your homework. Would have been so easy to look it up.
Right.
Or you're just slanted. You're just like, oh, he's on the bad team because he had dinner with Trump, or whatever your reason this week is. Yeah. And so I'm just going to shit on that. And like, okay, but then don't expect me to believe you about anything. Right.
Anytime you see someone, it sours the notion of sources close to him say. I'm like, no, they didn't. I'm sure no one says that, because there's no one, you don't have a source close to me that said that, because unless they just made it, someone who hates me, lives close to me, and made it up or something.
They're not used to, they know people like you. There are people like you in show business. Tom Hanks, like straight arrows. I don't mean that as an insult. It's a compliment. You're a straight arrow. Most people in show business are not. They're skanky, they're sleazy, they're shady, they're sus in many different ways. And they got lots of secrets, and they're doing lots of shady things. Yeah. And so it's a source closed is probably 20.
Right.
You don't think there's people ratting on Kanye or what? Yeah. You don't think these people make like giant enemies with their crazy behavior and their diva behavior? And,
right. Yeah.
All you need is like one time be like you can't look at me. That thing,
Yeah.
you know, like, which I've heard about more than one person. Like I don't know who started this, or maybe there are multiple people who do it, but I heard it about one music artist first. When he walks out on stage, the crew is told, you know, don't look him in the eye.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's like, yeah.
Which just makes you...
It's really important, though, someone in your position, my position, that we are mindful of the people that we have around us that represent us, because I'll bet you that directive was not given from the artist. It was given from a representative of the artist. Probably like, hey, you know what? He's having a fucked up day today. Just don't even look him in the eye.
You're right.
And then he's like, you know what he told me? He walked over, and then they have to really gussy up the story to make themselves... I'm in close proximity to this rock star. You should hear what I have. Here's the dirt. Like, everyone loves a little bit of gossip, you know? And so then by the time the lie travels around the world, it's like, he kicked the door in. He said, listen, you motherfuckers, no one look me in the eye. You know, it's like, okay. Because that's a more interesting story. And that's how lies spread.
And also, you're so right about show business minders.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to have people who think they're doing you a favor. And really, they're trying to kind of big themselves up about how they were saving you from, and he's like, don't save me.
Yeah.
You know, save me from, you have to know what to save me from.
Yeah.
My friend Martin Lewis once told me a story about Pete Townsend of The Who when he did a solo thing. I think it was at the House of Blues, and he's backstage after the show and sitting alone in his dressing room, and no one's there. And Martin, who's, I guess, one of his good friends, finally comes backstage, and Pete's like, he's like, what's the matter? He said, oh, I guess nobody liked the show. And Martin said, no, your guy wouldn't let anybody backstage. You know, protecting you from what a performer probably needs more than anything, affirmation.
Yeah.
Why do you think we did this in the first place?
We are deeply insecure.
It's all about, Mommy, look at me, I'm doing it.
What about me?
No, I'm doing it
Oh
now.
my
You
gosh,
didn't see.
brother.
I'm doing it. Look, Mommy. Right?
Yes. Or daddy or somebody.
Yes,
like,
somebody.
hey, I'm going to be loud enough that you won't leave me in the mall again, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the truth.
I mean, I'm so glad I got out of your game, because I wasn't, as I say, really suited for it, and hated makeup on my face all day and sitting in the trailers. I'm not a patient person. You have to be patient to be an actor.
That's the truth.
But I do remember it was a high, an adrenaline kind of high to do your close-up and hit it.
Yeah.
You know, not the, now you said before the first take is shit. Do they still do a master first? Like when I was doing stuff, they would do a master first.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing Ryan Gosling talk about this on some documentary, and he said, it's such a waste of time the way they do these movies. Like, they do a big master, which they never use, right? And you use up all your...
your juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it gets to your close-up, and you've done it 6 times. It's like... And I thought, oh, wow. I thought I was the only one who thought that.
Yeah, no, God, it's a great point. Yeah. It kind of depends on... That's really the job of a great communicative director, to be like, hey, listen, we want a master because we want to create the geography of this thing.
Right.
Don't blow your nut on this take, okay? Let's just walk through it. Let's just get through it, get the lines. Let's get the cameras. Make sure everyone's on board. Make sure the camera's in the right spot, the boom's in the right spot. We're going to make sure we're doing everything we can properly, so don't waste it. If a director says that to you, then you'd be less likely to be like, oh, that 6 months of prep, and you blow it, and they're like, oh, that was a great rehearsal. And you're like, I'll never get that back. And so, yeah, you have to be careful. And that's the job of the director, to make sure that they're really great communicators in terms of what we're getting. Because that's a big thing that I learned sort of like as I stepped to the other side of the camera, being more of a producer now, or as much of a producer as I am an actor, whereas before I was just acting, is like, it kind of, the only important thing is what's picked up on that little 35 millimeter lens, you know, what's picked up on that screen. That's what happens. That's what matters. That's what you're taking to the edit. So all this other stuff that you might be doing as an actor, it might just be kind of wasted. And so understanding,
like what other stuff?
Like
an activity,
like behavior, activity, you know, sort of deep painful feelings if you're in a big wide shot. So like understanding where the camera is, which lens is on the camera, and what shot they're getting.
Right.
That's the part of the craft. And every time an actor
is.
says craft,
Really.
I feel like an
No, but it's-
angel gets kicked in the nuts. But I'm like, please. But it really is kind of a craft, you know?
No, it is. It's just, yeah. And that's why I always say older actors are better.
Yeah, it's
They
a more
just
experience.
are.
You just
Like
get
anything
experience.
in life that's like a 10,000 hours thing.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you
right.
watch them in their 50s and 60s and they're like, you know, they're the old thing. They're not acting at all.
Right.
You know, you don't see the acting.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's just right. I think, and you know, it's like you've done stand-up for years and years and years.
Oh.
It's the same kind of thing, right? I mean, like, once you've done stand-up for many years, I'm assuming, I did it briefly for like a little bit in my early career.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit of stand-up comedy.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was fun. And it was like,
Yeah, and I did some kick-ass movies.
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So we get it. We
I
get it.
did a few billion-dollar franchises, so we're even.
But I think that's there's a looseness and a flow state that comes with knowing not what to expect, but being ready for all of it and ready to kill at every moment.
You're talking about in a scene?
In a scene, or when you're in a flow state of
stand-up.
doing stand-up comedy, or in a scene where like you get there, you may have rehearsed one thing, but you can't be married to what you expect to do. You just have to be ready to do the right thing at the right time, and innately you're going to know what that is. You might move off your material, and if the crowd is liking
Totally.
something else, you
That's
might go
what-
into some crowd work. You might just go back to the joke that worked. The big punchline from last week all of a sudden gets nothing, but then there's some. You have a different audience tonight. It's like you're feeding off the energy of the actor opposite you. You're like, wow, I really thought they were gonna. There was an exclamation point. I thought they were gonna scream that at me. They whispered it to me. I have to react to that whisper. I have to listen and react rather than just like say it how I prepared it.
Yeah, that's not exactly how stand-up works.
Trust me, it's exactly how stand-up works.
I mean,
you heard it here.
If something,
I did it 26 years ago, and I know a thing or two.
if a big punchline works one night,
Yeah, it'll always work.
yeah. I mean, you can have the occasional lucky night where the crowd is hot and they're kind of going for anything, but you know, I had been doing stand-up on the road for over 40 years and just recently stopped. Like I'm only retired from stand-up, not from life in general or my show or this, but just stand-up for 6 months. And one reason I stopped is because it's funny. I would only do weekends. I'm a homebody, you know. I don't want to. I'm not like a warrior like you. I don't want to be fucking in, you know, Djibouti for 6 weeks. I don't know how you guys do it. You guys earn your pay, movie stars. I'm a baby, so I would do 2 cities, private plane, go home after the second show, the second night. So I'd only be home away from them one night. The first night, because I hadn't done stand-up since like 2 weeks before, I would do it like every couple weeks. My act was like not in my head enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the second night I was bored. Because I'd done the jokes and
Right.
there was no like middle ground
Yeah.
anymore. So, but generally, no. I always worked with not always, but like in all those years in this century, I had a music stand on stage with like my bullet points, you know, it was just like a poor man's teleprompter, just bullet points. But it was the greatest thing in the world because as you're saying about improv, I could just like, that's the dock. And I can take the boat out as long as I want because I'm not going to lose sight of the shore.
Right.
Because I always go right back to, you know, and that's the greatest, to me, freedom in the arts is when you can have like structure and then the freedom to make it even better.
Yeah.
But
Make
you
it
always
better.
have that. I mean, you know, and I guess there are some people who are ballsier than me who are like, well, we're going to throw away the structure. We're just going to, we're going out to sea and we're going to find America or die on the way, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's ballsier. I guess it is. But I like the other way. And, you know, I'm not trying to win any medals here doing stand-up.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to be the ballsiest one.
Right.
Just the funniest one.
Well, who are in your mind the greatest in that art form?
Well, Carlin
Yeah.
is like, to most comics, you know, the first one they probably would put on the Mount Rushmore because he sort of had the trifecta. He was ballsy as shit. Like he would just say what he felt. I mean, he had a special right before 9/11 that they had to change the title for. The special was called "I Like It When a Lot of People Die." And even George said, "Yeah, we got to change the title now." I mean, that's not the kind of thing he normally would have said.
Right.
But even he was like, "Yeah, okay." But like, I mean, he was just, I remember one special, and this is when Lance Armstrong was, before he was found to be cheating, was the hero of all time because, of course, America cares so much about bicycle riding. I never understood why that was such a big thing in America.
It was, yeah.
But he was like the biggest hero. Bicycle riding? What's next in the Olympics? Running around the block? Okay, so he started one of his specials by saying, fuck Lance Armstrong. Don't tell me who my heroes are supposed to be. That's why we love him.
Yeah.
And he was very hard to peg politically.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some things he would do that you would think traditional. He was left-wing, certainly like quasi-socialist, like, you know, standing up for the poor and that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. But he was also like, didn't care about the environment. Like his thing was, the planet will be fine. I'm like, George, yeah, the planet, we're not worried about the planet. We get it. The planet itself will be fine. We're concerned about our lives on the planet, okay? So he, you know, but he was never contrarian just for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, you got the feeling and he was just funny. And he could go back and he also got to like so many premises in the 70s.
Yeah.
When observational comedy was fairly new, you know, before that it was a lot of my mother-in-law.
Right.
I took her on a pleasure trip. We went to the airport. You know, that was, that was comedy.
Right. The setup knockdown punch.
Henny Youngman, you know,
yes.
And then, you know, he kind of changed the game the way Brando did in acting, you know, and it was not just him. Robert Klein was also a huge hero for people of my generation. Same kind of thing. But George was just, he got to so many premises first, and he went through a transformation, and kind of like you, you'd be interested in this because you are a transformer. He started out suit and tie, short hair, you know, skinny tie, this is the 60s, and was on Ed Sullivan and, you know, very mainstream shows, doing fairly mainstream comedy. And then he put out an album called AM and FM. AM was him, the old him, that was side one, and side two was, now he's in like a tie-dye t-shirt, his hair's down to here, he's got a beard.
Wow.
And he wasn't the, you know, he started out in an era where you could only be that guy with the suit and tie and the short hair and the clean material. And then he said, fuck that, I'm going for, you know, the real me.
Right.
And of course we loved it.
That's great.
We 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Who were thinking about being comedians.
That's cool.
So some of it's emotional, like all our connections to stand-ups are, but, you know, he certainly, I think, is the one guy we would put up there that very few people would argue with that choice if you had to name three guys.
Yeah.
You know, Richard Pryor, obviously, is in that kind of realm, changed the game. I was never a Cosby fan.
Until...
It's funny. Exactly.
Yeah.
Till I found out he was a horrible serial rapist. Then I was like,
you know what?
maybe I've misjudged
I'm going to go back and go through some of his stuff.
Maybe I've misjudged this guy. No, never was a fan. I just thought he was corny.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was corny and fake and phony, and turned out I was right about that one.
You were, yeah.
But I didn't know you had done stand-up.
I mean,
and how did you like it?
You know, I don't know that I did it enough times to where I really got into a rhythm and I didn't have like a great act, but I liked it. I liked performing. I was hungry to perform.
Where did you do this?
I did it in Seattle at a club called, grew up in Pacific Northwest in Washington State from like second grade till I was just out of high school. And
I love that area.
it's really beautiful.
I love that. It's something about it. I mean, I've been there many times, obviously on the road as a comic.
Yeah.
Every couple of years, you play Seattle and Portland,
Right.
And Vancouver.
Yep. BC.
Oh, what is it about that area? I mean, first of all, it's clean, I think, because the air.
Yeah.
There's something about the air, right?
Yeah, I think it's clean. I think that I'll tell you. I think that the weather itself it's really oppressive.
Horrible.
9 months out of the year.
Right.
And so if you catch the right day, you're just going to find an entire state full of people in a good mood.
Right.
Like I remember
Right.
we would have seriously 100 to 130 or 140 days of rain in a row, and then spring around May, June, the first day of sunshine would hit, and traffic would slow on the freeway to like 40 miles an hour.
Wow.
And you would just feel the sun through your window, and it was just
But see,
amazing.
I live in LA. So when I went to Seattle, I was looking for the opposite experience and usually got it. I wanted the raw. I grew up in the East Coast.
Yeah.
There's a kind of a raw weather feel that we would get like at the beginning of spring, like St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Like when winter had lost its nip, but it was still kind of just bracing.
Yeah.
I loved it. Maybe a little drizzle in the air. And when I would go to Seattle, like that's what I got. I wanted to be at Pike's Market, feeling the drizzle and
Yeah.
filling up the fish that
Yeah.
in the ice there.
It's definitely
Remember Pike's Market?
Pike Place Market, of course. Yeah. I was for a while.
Iconic.
I was a door-to-door salesman, and I used to roll all through Seattle. And that was when I was doing stand-up comedy, and I just got to know.
A door-to-door salesman?
Yeah.
What are you, 80?
I was 17, 18 years old. Yeah.
Well, there were no door-to-door salesmen.
Yeah.
What year is this?
1997.
Selling what?
I was selling these little coupons, like for businesses in the service industry, so like oil changes or like trips to a spa or salon, that kind of thing. It was,
And you just cold-cocked the door?
I would cold call business people working. So I would walk around, like if we did like, say, represented a Midas shop, and it was somewhere in Seattle, I'd walk within like a 4-mile radius and just go to the people who worked there. So I'd walk into the store, no soliciting. I would walk right past and say, "Hey, I'm down here from Midas, and we're doing this thing for people who work in the neighborhood." And so I'd sell it to like, employees of businesses around there.
And why did you stick with it?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Bill. It fucking sucked. I did pretty well though. I was salesman of the year. I won a free trip to Jamaica. I opened my own office in Colorado. It was multi-level marketing. I was an idiot. I had zero critical thinking skills. I was the perfect fucking patsy. And honestly, I thought I was set for life until I realized everyone else who answered that ad was smarter than me, and they didn't buy it. And I was like, but like the biggest sale you do in that job is selling yourself that this is something that's going to help you. I remember when I wanted to quit, I called the guy who had hired me, and I said, "Man, I'm just dying out here. I'm dying. I'm in debt. I can't keep anybody on." We would hire just the bottom of the unemployment barrel. Like I had a guy come in and he like robbed a place. I was like, I don't know what to do. and he said to me, I remember Greg. I won't say his last name, but
that's not good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shut up. And I literally hired a guy who was a 2-time convicted violent felon. Here it is. The spit take. I got one.
We have a whole reel.
Yeah. And he was on the house. He was like on a kind of house arrest situation, like living in a home. And he was like, called me and they were like, "Listen, we need him." By the way, he was, I'll get to this, but he was an amazing guy. Like he taught me so much.
Sounds it.
He was, no, listen, he had really found God in prison. He was like a really special dude. It was one of the first authentic relationships I had with someone who was African American in my life. Like, it was actually really beautiful. But point being, when I first hired him, I didn't know any of that. And he was living in like a halfway house, and the guy was like, "Hey, we need him to be supervised at all times." And we were like, "Oh yeah, for sure. That's what we do." And then day one, I just drove in my minivan. I was like, I'll pick you up here at 5 p.m. Go knock on every door in this neighborhood. And he did very well. He got
Really?
arrested a couple times. And
Arrested?
Yeah, well working with for us.
For?
Probably for being black. He was down in Olympia and he was knocking on doors and someone got scared and called the cops and the cops came and they were like, hey, someone was scared, which I think a lot of times when people who are arrested
Look,
who are black, it's because someone who was scared of them called the cops, and then the cops, all they know is we got a report of a guy who's suspicious, and they come and arrested him. But anyways, Audie, I said his name, but his name was Audie. He was amazing, and I was 18, he was 42. I was his manager, and we became really close friends. And he was awesome. He told me. Actually, I don't know where he is. It's been 26 years. I don't know if you're out there watching Audie. I don't want to say his last name, but
yeah,
if you're out there, buddy.
You'd like to reconnect.
Oh, it'd be awesome. It would be awesome. I remember him telling me one time, he goes, man, you've transcended. I was like, that's amazing. I was like, I don't know what that means, but I think
I know what it means, and he's not wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he mean?
He meant you transcended being the fat guy who was like on a sitcom to being like a giant movie star.
You could see into the future.
Well, he said it before
He said it when I was 18, yeah.
Oh, well. Then he was predicting the future.
He was predicting the future. Anyways, door-to-door sales back to Seattle, and I did that. And so to circle back to why Seattle is so lovely, there's an attitude there too. There's a real attitude there. I think part of it is, if you look at it's a different attitude than the East Coast. I think if you look at just the way Manifest Destiny pushed, we colonized, headed west.
Correct.
And it was like, if you're in New York, you were like, fuck you, you keep going. This is mine. People from Seattle are like, I'll go. I'll keep going. They got pushed all the way to Seattle before they were finally like, I guess we can stay. It's rainy, but we'll do it. It's like there's a toughness, but also a politeness on the surface. So people can handle a lot.
It reminds me a little of Chicago in the sense that Seattle is a big city.
Right.
Like you forget, when you fly into Seattle, like a lot of cities in this country, and I've been to them all, I mean, there's a little downtown with some tall buildings. Seattle's big. It's a big and it's like the gateway to a lot of the, commerce to Asia, which is a lot of the commerce.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
And rich. And so is Chicago, but it doesn't have the bad New York attitude.
Yeah.
I lived in New York twice, and I love New York. It's kind of my roots. I grew up across the river, and New York teams still root for them and all that. But, it was I never vibed with that city. It was not my city.
Yeah.
I like visiting, but I vibed here. We're back to that. California, babe.
I've never vibed in any city, really. I'm not a fan of, because I think that, for me, I like nature. I want to see, you're walking here and through your grounds, nice. Beautiful. That beautiful sycamore, all those oak trees, it's just gorgeous. I love that because it's, as a believer, it's the creation. And I'm looking at this creation. I'm like, and it points me towards the creator. Whereas I go to a city, they're all man-made creations, and it points me towards men, and I'm like, eh.
The creator put some pot plants out there, too. Did you know that? The creator's been busy.
Do you smoke the pot that you grow?
Correct.
Is that right? That's kind of cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
Let's talk about getting high on your own supply.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah, you.
Who else can I trust?
Right?
Not to spike my pot.
There you go.
Well, you can trust the Woods,
that's your pot company.
That's my pot store that Woody Harrelson and I own on Santa Monica
and
Boulevard.
Dean, are you with
Howard Dean? Not Howard Dean. Dean Phillips is now running it. Yes,
I had dinner with him tonight.
Is that right?
On Sunday, yeah.
What a small world. And what were you two talking about?
He came over to Maria's house. We do. My mother-in-law has a family dinner every Sunday.
If people don't remember, he was the guy who challenged Joe Biden. He was a congressman when we last saw him.
Yeah, congressman ran for president.
Yeah. So he's a friend of the family?
I guess he's a friend of the family. Yeah, I think he may have been a guest of. He must be a friend of the family. He came, but we had a nice conversation. He told me to tell you, say hello, and he told me a little bit about the Woods, the company you guys are doing stuff.
First of all, it's a terrible situation that pot stores are still sort of bad people who we can't trust with your banking and shit. So there's too much cash.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, which it tends to attract robbers.
Wait, why is there so much cash?
Because they have banking laws against bad people.
Oh, there's banking laws against
Yes,
the pot
because
stores?
we're bad. We're bad people who are
Well, I support that. I think you're probably a piece of shit, but
we're bad people who are addicting people to something terrible. So we can't bank. It's all, it's just the kind of bureaucratic bullshit that makes us.
it's really interesting that they choose to throw a conscience in that aspect of capitalism.
Exactly.
Now we're going to use our conscience.
If I told you all the hurdles that we had to try to get over to just establish a marijuana company in this state,
let me ask you-
it's just ridiculous. They do not make it easy.
Do you think that is because of big tobacco or someone who would like to kind of like
No, that's because of
turn pot into the new Bud Light or something, and they just want to make it difficult for the mom and pop shops to be
that is because of big Democrats.
Democrats?
Yes, and I know your family. And again, my family loved them too.
Yeah.
Tried and true for the Democrats, but Democrats have a lot to answer for too. I didn't vote for the Republican. I don't think I've ever voted for, one time I did, but it was a sentimental vote. But yes, Democrats run this state, and Democrats are the ones who need to, if you want to have an easy, low-hanging fruit victory with people, just cut the red tape. You make it impossible to fucking do anything in this state.
That's truth.
And we put up with it because of the sunshine and for the rest of it, but it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
It is so unnecessary. And why would you just commit this unforced error? Why do you think so many companies have left this state and went to other states?
Right. Regulations. Overly regulated.
You make it impossible, not just regulations. I mean, just hooking up my solar here was a nightmare. And anything you want to do, changing my garage doors from 3 to 2 required 3 inspections. I just put a new roof on. That required 2 inspections. You don't need to inspect my fucking roof. If it falls on my head, that's on me. Trust us, people, to do a few things for ourselves.
Yeah.
Stop looking over my shoulder for everything.
I
get nagged enough by my car.
What's your car?
Every car. Do you get nagged by your car?
Oh, by your car. I think
Yes.
for your car. Oh yeah. Listen, you don't have to sell me too hard on the idea of cutting some of the red tape. I think that's unfortunately.
I mean, if you
the mindset
wanted to, I don't know where you live, and I don't want to know because, we don't need to put that shit out there.
Yeah.
But
The address is.
but I would like your parents' home number. No, okay. But say you wanted to add on. Either you're going to do it without telling the authorities, or you're going to tell them, and they're going to make your life miserable.
Right.
And it's just like, why? What do you think is going to, what bad do you think is going to happen when a giant movie star is putting on a second bedroom or something? Just let us live our lives.
I agree.
And they wouldn't do it. You would have to have, a friend of mine's house burned down in Malibu during the first Malibu fires 4 years ago. And he was putting in, I think, a septic tank, and it needed Wi-Fi. Oh, that was your best Jim from The Office take.
The septic tank needed Wi-Fi?
Correct.
There you go.
To send something to an iPad to tell you when it was overflowing or something. But, it's a vat full of shit.
Yeah.
I grew up with a septic tank.
Yeah.
Yes, when it rained a lot, we were pumping.
Yeah.
We were don't let the septic, but.
That's a perfect metaphor. It's no, we want to get in your shit. We demand, we impose. We will know when you shit. It'll cost you. But it is nice weather.
But I still love it.
I do too.
I'm hooked.
I'm hooked too. And I'm not I'm not completely sold that it can't be made better. And I think that there's enough people who feel the
it
same
can.
way. I think it can be.
Well, and everywhere. I mean, traditionally, of all the sectors of our lives, the military actually has been the one most sane, most apolitical,
Yeah.
most forward-thinking racially. Once they integrated after World War II, I mean, African Americans did very well.
Yeah.
We just had an African American Secretary of Defense and Colin Powell, and it was a place for advancement. I mean, I'm sure there was still racism,
Right.
but the military, was sort of like when they would do polling. What do you trust? The press, the Congress? No, hate them. Hate them. The president, hate him. Hate the media. Hate everything. The military? No.
Yeah.
They're still mostly guys who are, putting their life on the line and, want to do it for the right reason. Anybody who signed up after 9/11,
Yeah.
it wasn't for the money.
No.
No. I think about a guy like Pat Tillman. Remember
Yeah,
him?
of course.
The Arizona
Yeah, of course.
Cardinals football hero, real good player.
Yeah.
Went to Afghanistan, killed over there. I mean, that's America to me.
It is. There's, I think, and it can be found in the military. It can also be found in politics. But I think, being of service is really
But the guy you're playing, it's not a real guy.
No.
He's just a composite of what a SEAL guy really is.
Yeah. The writer of the book, Jack Carr, is a former SEAL team commander, and so he's kind of he crafted this character.
If you haven't seen the Netflix documentary on Bin Laden, it's so good.
American Manhunt.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
I shouldn't plug something not on HBO, but that was
right.
But it was great because
White Lotus. You're talking about White Lotus.
Exactly. Oh, is that your cousin? Who's he now? What is that kid now to
Brother-in-law.
you? Brother-in-law.
Yeah, it's my wife's brother.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Right.
He's great.
He was
so
great.
Good in it. He's great in it.
What a family. What a thing.
Yeah.
The whole Kennedy vibe going. Do you play touch football on the lawn like the old Kennedys used to do? You got to get into that Kennedy vibe, right?
Yeah, I've gone out a couple times out to Hyannisport and been able to kind of see some of the old haunts of where they've. Yeah, it's been really amazing and eye-opening for me because I mean I didn't grow up. I'm not educated. I went to high school and got really good grades and did some AP classes, but I didn't go to college. And I was educated on Arnold. I mean that was my college. It's like watching Commando. You know what I mean? So so when I met Catherine, I was like, that's crazy that her dad is Arnold. I didn't think it was crazy. I'd been in business long enough to know that it was pretty normal and actually kind of relatable in a way to me that would be sweet. But I didn't fully comprehend how many people were such fans of the political side of her family. It didn't really strike me until. And you're telling me being raised, as Irish Catholic, I imagine your whole life was the Kennedys. I remember seeing the movie about Kennedy with Kevin Costner. That was that Oliver Stone movie.
Oh, so great.
But beyond that, I didn't really know much about it.
Are you kidding? No. I know someone named Kennedy.
Named Kennedy?
Yeah, their first name.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And she's great.
Is it? Yeah. Is it the MTV
No.
woman?
Not that one.
That's the only Kennedy I know.
No. All right. That was so much.
Thanks.
Oh, I can't.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it was
Appreciate
so
it,
much
man.
fun. No.
And we'll see you soon, I think. when we're
Yes,
shooting
I
our thing.
can't wait.
That'd be
I'm
good.
excited.
Yeah. I'm not in the
So-
scene, but I'm going to come by and visit set.
What's my motivation? Am I me?
You're Bill Maher.
Okay, and I'm.
And
All right. Well, I can't wait to see the scene.
And your real motivation is, I'm going to tell you real quick. A terror attack there's a new terrorist.
Oh.
He's a new head of Al Qaeda, a new type of Al Qaeda, and the world has considered him enemy number one. He's like the new Osama bin Laden, and you're having a panel on people who are experts in terrorism, and one of them is a journalist named Katie Beranek, played by Constance Wu. And
I see. Oh, she's the reporter.
The reporter, and you'll
great
refer
character.
to me, and you'll say, well, what's the difference between James Reese and this guy? This is also a guy who is a true believer who lived for all this stuff, who killed people.
Right.
Did those people not deserve to have a trial? Doesn't that make him a terrorist in a way? Isn't he imposing his own views? So
Oh, my
God, that's good. Well, look, it's all poison. It's all poison, but at different degrees. Yeah.
Fuck. I'm drinking 2 gallons of vodka a day?
Are you talking about yourself?
Yeah.
Gallons?
Gallons, the big handle.
I know what a gallon is.
Dude.
Something about music goes right to the pussy.
If I was a plumber or a dentist, it wouldn't be the same thing. I get it.
Well,
and you don't have to
if
be
you were a
this-
dentist, you'd be a lot of drilling.
Guy came backstage. He goes, "I've got liquid LSD," and he filled our hands, and I must have taken like 25 hits of LSD.
You could have died.
Fucking 2 days. That's what I'm saying.
About
I
it.
have a pain.
Really?
It's gone.
Okay.
just live for another 20 minutes.
That's all we need.
Because and then we're wrapped.
I always get back to like having done a show for 10 years about the good old days.
Right. Yeah.
My conversation, I would get asked about Mad Men saying like, "Don't you wish, man, don't you wish?" And I go, "I'm a fan of painless dentistry." I'm like, no, it's better now.
The thing I liked about Olivier was that
His balls tasted.
whenever I had what? He wouldn't let me ask the question. He was always busy probing me.
I'll
Always
bet
ask-
he was. I'll bet he was very busy probing you.
Oh,
So a psychopath is a predatory parasite. And it's not, and that means they're very, very low in agreeableness, no empathy, tend to be callous.
Like, who are some people who fit this description?
Ted Bundy?
Let me put it another way. Who are some people running for president now who fit?
Well, that's an open question, right?
Well, it's a true thing. And, well, I will, excuse me, Bill, stop laughing like a dog, okay? Bill Maher is a lefty lunatic. You have a case of the Trump derangement syndrome, and a lot of people are saying it. He used to like me a lot more before we got a little too political for Bill.
I had trouble saying no. Just put it there.
Oh, you have trouble saying no.
To benefits and to gigs I don't want to
Well,
do.
why didn't you just say so? You're like the Pete Davidson of your generation. Like the guy everybody goes, wow, how did he get all those girls?
It's always how. It's so horrible. It always starts with how.
I lay on my back off the bed and they get to stand and just be right humping them right where the mattress hits.
I feel like the chances of the Family Research Council repeating this show anywhere are...
Who was the Family Research Council?
Like a super Christian organization. I don't know any thruples.
I know 2.
Can you describe them?
There were 3 men together.
Like the Three
2 of them.
Stooges. Listen to this. This is way before I even knew what a gay person was. They slept in the same bed, and they would introduce each other as my partner, even though they were in no specific business.
You look cuter on stage than you do off stage. There's something about that thing,
So my theory that rock stars get a lot of pussy is the correct...
It is absolutely correct. A lot of them do.
Okay.
You cross a sacred thing when you go onto a stage. The stage is sacred.
Yes.
Since then, Chappelle got tackled.
Yes.
Salman Rushdie.
I mean, are you really afraid like that?
I'm afraid on stage.
Fast Times at Ridge Run High.
He was based on a guy from San Diego. His real name was very close to Spicoli. Sean, he didn't really audition. He said, I know this character. I grew up with this character. I lived in Malibu.
He's a surfer dude.
And we said, well, do it. And he goes, hire me and I'll do it. And we actually hired him.
I couldn't get a job in LA, so I went to New York and paid $375 down, which included the security deposit on an apartment. So I got dressed and I get in the elevator. And next to me is the most exotic, beautiful woman I've ever seen. And I've got to figure out a line. And I'm shy. And the elevator starts going down and I got to come up with something. And my line was, do you know where the garbage goes in this building? And her response was,
yeah, you take it right down to...
it was a man. And I'm hearing Lou Reed in my head, take a walk on the wild side.
Hi.
Michael Jackson. He's rehearsing, and, it's intermittently with Dr. Conrad Murray, currently now my personal doctor.
Is he really?
No.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm like, wow.
Yes.
No wonder you look so good.
Thank you.
It's very strange, actually. It's really strange because you just forget where you are.
Well, that's the nicest compliment you could give me. Here I am, lonely in my little club random, all by myself, smoking my blunts.
My wife won't be watching this. She's in Spain.
Do you want any?
No, thank you.
You never smoke pot.
Oh.
What'd you think
You
of
mix it in the cigar?
Because otherwise, that's the biggest joint I've ever seen in my life.
Well, you must have seen a blood, Chris.
No.
Come on.
No.
Your family, you've never seen a blood?
No, I have.
Okay.
Cinetise put Buster Keaton ahead of the other three.
Who put them ahead?
Cinetise.
Who?
Cinetise, film buffs.
I thought you were saying the name of some Spanish intellectual.
No, Cinetise.
Cinetise,
I said it. I said it clearly.
17th century Jesuit priest.
I said it.
We had dinner with Gregory Peck. Went out to my limo. We smoked a joint.
Who's we?
Me and you. It's Stoner.
If you're truly following the way of Christianity, you will be a good steward of this place because this is where heaven is.
You know, this would be a really successul episode if you got me to be a Christian by the end of it. I'm telling you, this thing would fucking explode on the internet. On the boat.
This is a real Jesus. This is a Jesus moment. This is a real Jesus moment, dude.
Who's the person that's been most wasted or stoned in here?
You have to watch the Richard Dreyfuss episode. And that will answer your question.
So, this girl, who was the picture of perfect innocence and beauty.
And, oh God, now everybody's gonna be doing the Dreyfuss.
No.
Well, he had a rough day.
And
innocence, you say?
Oh, yeah.
I learned more about Richard Dreyfuss than I ever wanted to know.
Incestuous Thoughts was the engine that drove my masturbation.
Really?
Yes.
I'm telling you, Bill, I'm being honest with you. We're comedians, right? We're jaded when it comes to laughter. And
when I laugh, it's an honest laugh.
Right, but with Richard Dreyfuss, I was truly, it actually broke kind of parts of my personality, and my girlfriend, wife, was screaming at me. She was like, "You're gonna wake up the kids."
You have children, right?
I do not have children.
Thank God. No kids? Never no slip-ups?
Not
no.
to my knowledge. I don't enjoy them. I never have. I didn't like kids when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Really? You parents fucked it up having to negotiate with a child for what restaurant you're going to go to.
Let's not forget,
that
we've
is
also...
astoundingly, I don't know why I'm so mad. For many millions and millions of people, the purpose of living is to avoid having children. You know.
Do you like kids? Do you actually like kids? Or...
What do you ask me this question for? Of course I don't like kids.
You asked me questions about kids. I'm asking
Jesus,
you.
But I just told you.
Yeah.
But weren't you the one who said everybody has a plan until they get hit?
Absolutely.
No, that's a great quote.
Even with me, with everybody in life in general,
right.
we have to realize that things can happen.
The day my divorce became final, I literally got the news and went to do Politically Incorrect.
Wow.
The next month, I had a Thanksgiving at home, and you came. You went to the children's table and you sat down and you said to my 8 and 6-year-olds, you said, "So, okay, are you ready now for your mom to start dating?"
I did. What did they say?
They cried.
Coffee clutch with your other egghead.
Oh, what did we talk about?
What's the gossip out there? What's putting a tingle in your anus?
Okay. That would be Uranus.
Right, when someone in an audience heckles, it's obvious they didn't get the joke. My friend George Wallace used to tell this story. He was on stage where I started out at Catch a Rising Star, and it's July. He says, well, I gotta go home and take my Christmas lights down. And the guy yells out, "You were a little late, pal."
I'm editing Pulp Fiction, and I'm watching this show, Politically Incorrect on Comedy Central, that I think is just amazing.
I remember.
And I like it so much that I'm going to my editor, Sally Minky. I'm like, "Hey, you know what they said? You know what they said last night?"
We were so buoyed by your fandom. You were our first fan. I swear to God.
I grew up on Bill Maher.
Right.
That's why I'm fucked up, a fucked up kid.
This is so fucking cool. I'm just gonna fanboy out for a second, please. You bring me extreme fucking joy watching you say what nobody else will fucking say and mean it. You cut right through the fucking bullshit.
My parents are a really big fan of your show.
Because they're the ones who love me.
Well, I love you too.
Oh, good.
You're still one of my favorite guys on TV.
I appreciate
I like it. You're a straight shooter.
That's all you can ask for in this world nowadays, man.
I never sell out. August 19th, he'll be at the Ovens Auditorium in Charlotte, North Carolina. June 16th in San... Oh, I'm in Vegas. We got to go to Vegas together sometime. The Hard Rock, Northfield, Ohio, Saturday, May 20th, September 2nd. The Grand Prairie, I think that's Dallas. Texas Trust CU Theater. Okay. So...
Can I do a plug?
Yes, and Bobby, you're running for president of the United States. I think we have a clip of...
I don't want to win this election by seeing a political opponent eliminated by the federal police state.
Because it happened. It's like they made it up. But this country has done one thing that was more amazing than any other. The peaceful transference of power. So many countries cannot get this right.
Yes.
And one guy, your boyfriend Donald Trump,
oh come on,
broke this and
come on,
fucked
don't give me the
That's
boyfriend
exactly
stuff. Come on. I'm running against him in this race. Okay.
I think
I'm
you're
saying
running
this-
to be his vice president.
Well, I'm glad you smoked that view out. I've already said, and I'll say it again, I'm not going to work for any administration.
So you would say no to his...
Yeah, I would say no.
Somebody better wake the fuck up. Joe Biden, the Democrat, Donald Trump, the Republican. Trump would be a betting favorite.
And any 50-ish, not stupid, woke Democrat, that person can win.
I've had Senator Chris Murphy on my podcast. There's another guy.
Chris Murphy?
Yes.
So, how old is he?
50-ish.
Yes.
He looks like he's
done.
But I'm just saying,
Chris
anything,
Murphy.
if you just,
As long as we know nothing about him, can we make him gay? It would help so much in the primary.
Okay.
It really would.
Well, maybe he's ambitious enough for a basket.
Have you ever had a homosexual experience?
No. Why are you? But it's
No.
early. I was never destined to be a gay man.
I don't know that I was destined to be a gay man. I happen to be married to one.
Sometimes I'm in a store or something, and then they're like, there's some new way to pay or something,
That's
and I feel
right.
like the mermaid in Splash.
Yeah,
I want to
right.
go,
Well, I still don't know why you haven't gotten married, but I am fully understanding why nobody has ever married you.
just talking sports is a waste of your talent.
I worked for them for 16 years. They won't call me why.
Right.
They know that I'm not afraid. They don't want that.
And he finally said, "So are you a comedian?" And I said, "Yes, Mr. Leno." And he said to me, "How much time you got?" And I said, "About 8 minutes." He said, "Good." You know, most people I ask how much time you got. I got 6 hours. I can do 6 hours. I got 2 hours of clean, 2 hours of dirty. I got.
You know, I called Jimmy Kimmel and I said, "I'm getting offers from ABC. If they're talking to put me on 11:30, would you want to go on at 12:30? I think he said, "Yeah, he'd like to." I said, "Oh, okay." But I think maybe he was hurt by that, and I apologized to him for that.
But I don't want to make this all about, because I'm fine with him now. We've spoken.
Okay.
It's fine. But just for the, whatever, just the
I hate
facts.
it when two people I love don't like each other.
Oh, I do like John.
Oh,
no. We're not
good.
acrimonious in any way.
Okay.
We just have different directions, and have had since about 1975.
Oh, geez, look what I've stumbled into here.
Why did JFK Jr. die? I get into all this stuff.
Well, wait a second. I know why
Okay.
JFK Jr. died.
Tell me there was no bomb in the back of the plane.
You think there was a bomb in the back of the plane?
Possibility, that's all.
I don't trust the government.
I do. See,
You
that's-
trust the government?
I trust the people who work in the deep state. Bureaucrats. Yes, I do. The people with stale pizza on their desk and cold coffee. A sphere that is ruled by Satanists?
Yes.
Who are the Satanists?
At the very top sits the Bank of International Settlements in Bern, Switzerland.
I've got my savings account with them. If I say, okay, I agree with you
That's
on
all it
everything,
is.
can we move on?
So there's no Russia does
Just tell
not
me what
want
the
it.
safe word
They
is.
keep saying Russia invades Ukraine.
I agree.
They don't want Ukraine.
So true.
Who wants Ukraine? It's a
Exactly.
fucking mess. It's a sewer.
As I've always said. Okay, but just to be clear, people did land on the moon.
I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know.
I do know.
I just want to know why we didn't go back.
We did go back.
What, did we go back? What year?
To the moon?
In that era when Putin first came into office, there was that famous poisoning of the, what's his name? The guy from... you got to look at the London intelligence agencies, the English ones, MI5. For 10 years, he was worthless as an agent. He wasn't... Had nothing Don't forget the project for the new American century, the people who sent us into Iraq. They automatically assume that Putin is responsible for everybody. He's like a James Bond film. Dr. No does this, he does
It's
that.
exactly like a James
But it's
Bond
not.
film.
You've
He's
watched too
exactly
much
like like a Bond villain. He should be stroking a cat every time you see him.
You haven't proven it to me, goddammit. Can I take a leak now?
Yes. You mean Putin was like, we have got to do something about this problem of people falling out windows. I think the floors are too slippery by the window. That is what we must work on.
So where were we? We were on something interesting before we got boring.
What were we talking about? It was very interesting.
People having different viewpoints, I think, or something.
We're talking about the cancel policy and the cancel world.
We're just talking about the early funny comedies.
How many times do you get a prostate check and enjoy it before you're gay?
5? There you go. See, yeah, right there. Yeah.
I just don't like joking about.
Oh, Bella.
I know that you
Bella.
like to, but I
This
I
is
don't
where
think
the
it's
anxiety.
funny.
Oh, for
I don't
fuck's
think
sake!
it's
What a
funny.
shame. Is there anything more pathetic in that fucking generation than begging for people to like you?
Like
me. No.
Like this thing I did. Like it, please like it. Please like. John, the drink I made you, was it good? Like it, please like it, John. Please like it.
My daughter came with me. My 18-year-old daughter is like woke as fuck. I mean, that's that generation.
Of course.
Comedy is the villain, and her dad is the fucking Joker. So I bring George on the road,
right?
And I watch her and her best friend Daisy go like this. I said, I saw you laughing at that trans joke about ... And George goes, Dad, hold on. The way he says it, it's different. It's like he surprises you with the thing, and I go, yeah, it's called fucking comedy.
So who's at your shows? Every age?
Every night I'll say, how many people is your first time seeing Limp Bizkit? The whole place raises their hand. How many people are under 30 years old? The whole place raises their hand. I think the people who grew up liking Limp Bizkit probably are a little older, and they'd probably rather me do a Paul Newman and give them some salad dressing or some soap.
If we were sitting here with a couple of guys from the Chili Peppers and a couple of guys from other bands, we would all agree on one thing, which is that U2 is the ideal of being in a band that we all look up to because they function, they're more or less grew up on the same street and went to the same schools.
That's true of a lot of bands. That's the Beatles.
But the Beatles also, I mean, they lasted 6 years.
10.
You experienced the Beatles.
The end, I was old enough to know what I was experiencing.
Let me rephrase it. You experienced the Plastic Ono Band.
Paul McCartney flies commercial?
He was in Heathrow Airport, yeah. And a friend of a friend said, your Uncle Paul's outside. And I said, what? And we sat there chatting away for a little bit. And,
Well, but you have so much history with that guy. I mean, and again...
Yeah, but we've never, even done this.
Really?
He keeps telling me I've got so many stories about your dad that I've never told anybody. But we're just got to find the time and lock in a time to do that.
Do it like yesterday.
I know.
You've never invited me over. You've never invited
This sounds like the beginning of The Godfather.
No, but look at this place.
Well, yes. You never asked me to come for coffee. And now you come here on the day of my daughter's wedding.
You do impressions. I remember watching your stand-up. You do impressions.
Okay, let me do Rhett Butler's speech for you. I think it's very hard to win a war with words, gentlemen. What are you saying? I'm saying there's not a cannon factory in the whole South. Well, what difference does that make to a gentleman? Well, I'm afraid it's going to make a great deal of difference to a great many gentlemen. Marty is a huge Sinatra fan because he and I both know this album that we can't find anybody else who knows this.
I live alone. That hasn't always been easy to do for a single man.
I had to introduce this album to Seth MacFarlane, who is a Sinatra adore. I've been to town, I've crossed the highways
And the harbor too. I've done some things I never thought I ever knew.
Saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't fucking with her broke.
Baby, don't get hooked on me. Yeah, oh my God.
Because I'll just...
Yes.
And I'll set you free. There's a great line in that where he goes, and it's warm where you're touching me. She rides around in a brand new
foreign car. The chances are the lady's a star. Yeah.
Whatever I did right in life, this to me is like one of the ultimate payoffs.
Just leave it at that.
I'll drink to that too.
That for whatever road led me here where I have enough cachet to have you want to come here and talk to me.
Come on, buddy.
Like two old white guys, we don't know. Should we do this?
I gotta go to bed, Bill.
Oh, that's honest.
I gotta go. I gotta go back to what happened to you from the ages of 0 to 2?
I was modeling. I started modeling at 6 weeks old. Literally.
When we're not filming, the drinks are not